which I also sometimes claim in the same manner, but I don't have a degree in higher education. I think Professor Jarad Acharya in Nepal is publicly known, the best known as the ambassador of Nepal to the UN. But his bio has many other things that we can learn about him. Let me quickly share his literature. There are not
Second
two
day of
literatures,
Delta
not two grammars, but one
conference
grammar, the other literature.
in the premises of
With gold
LA,
medals from Tribhuvan
College
University. Has a doctorate degree in theoretical linguistics from Georgetown University, USA. He is a retired professor of English from Trichandra College.
We can only hope for the best. Today, we gather to ask one of the most pressing questions of our era. Can artificial intelligence, AI, be a substitute for a human teacher of English, or any teacher for that matter? This question is not just about technology. It is about the essence of education itself. What does it mean to teach? What does it mean to learn? And most importantly, what does it mean to be human? Teaching is not merely a transfer of information. It is transmission of wisdom. If we look back thousands of years, education was not confined to classrooms, nor was it dictated by rigid curricula. In ancient India and Indian subcontinent, you have heard Takshashila University, the ruins of which are the UNESCO World Heritage Sites in Pakistan today. There were teachers during the time of the Upanishads. The teacher or the guru was more than an instructor. He was a guide, a mentor, a philosopher. Takshashila was the center of Buddhist studies at that time. And there were students from China, from Greece, Babylonia, and everywhere there. The relationship between guru and disciple was deeply personal, based on dialogue, reflection, and moral development. The student did not merely receive knowledge, he experienced it through debate, introspection, and lived practice. The guru, despite his long experience of teaching, was humble enough to acknowledge that there could be blemishes or deficiencies in his personality. So he would ask his disciple to emulate only the positive aspects of his character and shun the negative elements that he observed in him. Yani asmakam sucharitani tani toya upasyani no itarani. Whatever good traits that you see in us, you should try to practice them, not others. That's what he said. And when I remember my teachers, and when I was asked one day to write about my teachers, I asked myself, who were the most important teachers, three most important teachers in my life? And after a reflection, long reflection, I said, the primary school teacher in my village, which had just one room school. And there was one teacher, 14 students, 11 boys and 3 girls. He was the founder of my educational edifice. Because of his care, because of his love, his guidance. I was not required to memorize anything. I went there to be with him, play with him, and learn something. He was number one best teacher for me. And the second best teacher that I remember was in the university, Tribhuvan University, Professor K.P. Malla, alas, who is no more. He had just returned from Edinburgh University, having done his PhD in stylistic analysis. He sat down with me at the same table and corrected my master's degree thesis with so much love and care and discussion that the guidance was really inspiring. I think I learned a great deal from him. Although I was a good student, having gold medals in many degrees, but I still remember that he made a turning point in my life as far as writing ability is concerned. And then finally, I remember my professor, Richard J. O'Brien, professor of linguistics, theoretical linguistics at Georgetown University, under whose guidance I wrote my PhD dissertation, and Georgetown University has published it, a descriptive grammar of Nepali and analyzed corpus. He was so thorough and so loving and so caring that we sat down in his office up to 3 o'clock a.m. and he would drive me back home and ask me to beg pardon from my wife.
Stop. In one sentence, let's stop all this stuff and enter ahead.
Okay.
So, what would be the journey like? So,
Yes. What would happen
imaginary
if it stops?
kind of
Stop what? AI.
AI.
Technology.
technological.
Technology.
Okay.
Yes. What would happen?
Thank you.
Okay. Nice question.
Thank you for that question. It's difficult to imagine and go back to centuries back where there was no technology, nothing. Lord Buddha taught or preached not in a hall like this, not in a university room, but under a tree, people tree, and in the open ground. And his preachings or teachings have been immortal. When I was in New York, there were books, in the streets sold for 50 cents or $1, old books. And I turned one of them and happened to glance at a sentence which said, "How terrible the world would be if there were no Russian novels, Islamic architecture, Polynesian dance, and Buddhist philosophy." How profound that sentence was. The teaching becomes powerful, not just because of technology. It becomes powerful because of the soul of your teaching.
Nice. Very good. Nice.
Buddha taught by example. There was a woman whose baby was dead. And you can imagine the sorrow of a mother whose baby is dead. And somebody said, there is an enlightened soul, the Bodhisattva, Buddha, who may be able to help you. Maybe he will be able to revive your child, your baby. Please go. And she went to Buddha and said, "Oh Lord, my baby is dead. Can you please revive him? People told me that you can, if you want to. And Buddha said, I will try, but please go in the village and bring a morsel of rice from a house. But the house should be that there is no one dead. She went from houses to houses, and asking whether they had somebody dead, recently or in the distant past or something. Everybody said, no, we don't have such a house. We have, in every household said there was somebody dead. And then she went back to Buddha and said, Lord, I could not find a house where there is no one, I couldn't find a house there is, no one has died. And Buddha said, see, this is the fact of life. This is the fact of life. So that's how he taught. By example, by making the student go and experience the fact itself, herself or himself. So the four noble truths of Buddha's teaching are, there is misery in life, and there is cause of that misery. The cause of the misery is ignorance. That you don't know, you think that everyone is living and immortal. No, that's not the fact. You are ignorant. And there is a way to remove that ignorance. These are four noble truths. Ye dhamma hetu pavava, hetus tesham tathagato yavadat, tesham chayo nirodha evam vadi mahashramana. So these are the fundamentals. The successful teacher is successful in the way he teaches, soulfully. And I think technology or no technology, human beings will be teaching and learning from each other as long as there is Mother Earth here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Forms of innocence and forms of experience. You are innocent as long as you don't know, you have not experienced. But once you experience, you cannot undo that experience and go back to innocence.
Right.
We have experienced technology, will not go back.
Sure.
Agree?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay? We'll continue, but how is a question.
Yes.
All right. Any more questions? Yes. Please introduce yourself, name and country.
Okay, so thank you everyone and good morning everyone. My name is Zaya from Mongolia. And then also as a researcher, so my research interest is also in using the AI technology in language teaching and learning. And since yesterday we are having a great inspiring speeches about the technology and advancement of the technology. Of course it's very challenging because we are trying to catch up in the technological competitive era. And of course, the AI cannot replace the human teacher in the classroom. But I have a suggestion. Why don't we use AI as a teacher assistant? Why don't we use AI to make students avoid from being bored and from the boredom? And then also I have a suggestion to use the AI very balancedly, so let's try to balance it, the use of technology. And the question is, what do you think about this suggestion? Can we use the AI technology in the classroom as a teacher assistant and then as an extracurricular activity? And then I would like to see and I would like to listen to your view. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, that's a good question, and I mentioned it in my lecture that AI can be a very good assistant to the human teacher, no doubt. No doubt. I myself, use AI, to my computer and get a lot of help from it. That's very good. But being with a friend, being with a teacher, is a different thing than being assisted by the technology. So I agree with you that we can use AI very effectively and usefully as an assistant to the living teacher. Thank you.
The learning assistant.
As a tutor.
When there is no tutor, human tutor, I use ChatGPT, DeepSeek when I don't have somebody to talk to, and then when I need information. I don't exactly copy, but I inform myself with the help of ChatGPT or DeepSeek and other Elicit and those AIs. Somebody did a research about the use of AI,
AI can be
and then this person found out that almost everyone uses AI, but they refuse to tell. So I would like to do a little survey here. Raise your hand if you have used AI to learn something or to do something. See? Maybe these hands that went up may have used AI to write assignments.
Yes.
And the assignments may have returned from teachers. So don't do that. Don't write assignments, but write in an informed way, because read book is also getting information, and ask AI is also getting information. That's okay. But if you just copy and paste, then that's a problem. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Today's topic, artificial intelligence.
यो
as
यहाँ हुना
learning and
धेरै
writing.
राम्रो लाग्छौ.
Wow.
Am I correct? A little bit.
A little bit.
Okay. So technology helped me. So I could do this.
Professor,
I am
Doctor.
working in the field of artificial intelligence, and I'm going to talk on that. What sort of work I'm doing, or what sort of AI I'm building for English teachers to actually help themselves to teach English in a way the students or the Gen Z students understand. That is my topic. Very simple. First and foremost, a disclaimer to start with. I'm working with AI, but believe me, I'm not working. My domain is always like that I never ever try to develop products which is going to replace a human being. This is a problem that yes, when we talk about AI, we start feeling that it is going to take away our jobs. But just to make the disclaimer properly, I'm going to give a small example in front of you. See why this question arises, that if there is AI, then it is going to take away our jobs. I will give an example. I'm working in a college. I'm a person who has got a small responsibility of checking the attendance at the end of the classes, seeing which students are absent, and then sending an SMS to their guardians that your word was absent today. That is my job in the college. Take an example. Now, I'm going to have a software which is going to check that which students are absent in the class very easily, either by scanning the attendance register, or maybe the attendance is already uploaded in the website. From there they are going to take it and send the SMS automatically. What does that mean? That means that person who was doing the job of sending the SMS to the guardians, that person loses his job. Is not it so? That person loses his job. Immediately question arises, that means technology can take away jobs. But please understand, for that software to run properly, you need server space. If I in my college use a software like this today, all other colleges are going to do that. They are so technically rich that I feel stressed. But thank you so much for your answer. Any other answer? Do you feel this one?
Exam.
Can be an answer. Exam is a stress.
Yes.
How many of you feel exam is a stress?
Study as well.
So many hands. Dear teachers, let me be very, very clear to you. Research clearly shows nowadays exams do not bother the Gen Z. The Gen Z are not bothered by exams. They don't care. They just don't care. What bothers them?
Study.
This is their botheration. This is their stress. My Facebook
It's
post
true.
is getting lesser number of likes than my friend.
As TikTok as well. TikTok.
This is my stress.
Social media. Yes.
We cannot relate. This is Gen Z, we cannot relate.
Instagram Reels.
And this is true.
TikTok
Ask your
videos.
students. Interact with them, you will feel. I have felt. When I knew this, I interacted with them and I felt the same. This is their botheration. They are bothered that my Facebook post is not getting reach. Now, there are two ways of dealing with it. One is to explain to them, don't do this. Should not be a botheration. Walk against the tide. Try to help them out. One way of doing. Another way of doing it is taking help of the tide and put in what we want to put in. We want to teach English after all. We want to teach them that how you write, how you talk English, how you write English, how you speak English. We want to teach that. Can we take the help of social media for teaching our students? That is what I started trying in my laboratory. This is a Facebook post and this is a question I put in front of my students. This Q stands for questions. Every time you see a Q in my slide, you'll find there's a question for you. The question goes like this, that a student gets such a post in his social feed, in his news feed, he gets a question like this. He gets a post like this. With one of his friends posting, I'm so disappointed. I tried so hard for the last 1 year but still couldn't crack. My question to you is, this comes to your news feed from your friend. What will you write to inspire them? What comment will you write to motivate them? Can I have some answers from the wonderful people out here? The best of English teachers out here. Your friend writes in Facebook, I'm so disappointed. I tried so hard for the last 1 year, but still couldn't crack the government exam. Or maybe still couldn't crack the exam. What will you write to motivate him or her? This is a question I put in front of my students. Some answers from the wonderful English teachers out here. Yes?
Failure is a brother of success.
Wonderful. Failure is a brother of success. Wonderful. Any other answers from your side? I would like this to be a little bit dual, interactive, if possible. Any other motivating comment from your side? Yes, ma'am.
To give him suggestions about some of
Yes? Failure is a chance. Okay, right.
or to give him some clues about the centers which will help him to
Wonderful.
practice.
Okay. Perfect practice makes the people perfect. Yes, and some tips to help him out. Yeah, right. So, the elected best answer by my students. I have elected a best answer from the students. I got an election of the students. Which one do you feel is the best answer? And I got this answer in their language. Dude, you are the best. How can just an exam defeat you? Next year you are going to come out with flying colors. Cheer up, buddy. This was the answer I got from one of my students. I really loved it. I have written it over here. Now, why I'm saying all this? Because I'm trying to in my laboratory, I'm trying to develop products or apps through which Facebook comments you can post and check whether you are better or the app is making it better for you. So this was the screen that I had given. In my app you will find a screen like this. A Facebook post, below it is roast and boast. Roast you all mean, you know, that there's something you want to roast him, you just want to make mockery of him, make fun of him, that is roast. And boast is just motivating. So, in our app, AI-based app, which was developed, in this AI-based app, a click on boast gave this result. Sorry. this result. Here you are unstoppable, and one exam doesn't define your journey. Next year you are going to rise stronger, wiser, and achieve everything you set your sights on. Keep your head high, your spirit unshaken, and get ready to conquer. The best is yet to come. Go get it. Which one is better?
This one.
The one written by my student. A motivation for them. You can do better than AI. You can do better than AI. Yes, you can take help of AI if you're not finding anything. If it is not coming to your mind, give a bit of hint, bit of clue, and then look for an answer from AI. But most of the time, you can do better than AI.
Right.
Another example I will give you. Just to show that how my students perform better than AI, and this is the app that we developed, our students developed only in the laboratory. Now this was the post. You see, this is a posting post.
Very
A
funny.
teacher writes, a student, one of your friends,
Look at his
have just posted this in Facebook.
Look
A
at his
picture
eye.
like this. And I asked him, how will you roast him? Or how will you just make fun of him? Make fun of this post? Okay, again some answers from your side.
He forgot to use
Again some interesting answers from your side, please.
with his right hand.
Somebody. Those who are more close or closer to the students. Closer to Gen Z. Closer to Gen Z. Dr. Shamapika is the LTI president of Kolkata section. I know she is very, very close to the students. Any posting answer from your side?
Two example of symmetry, sir.
True example of symmetry.
Yes.
Okay, that can be a boasting comment. True example from symmetry. Let me show you what my students answered. My students
Very
answered
nice,
this.
very
Hey,
funny.
the Horlicks work beautifully, but only on your left arm. I feel sorry for the right arm. You go back to the picture once more. Now again, it's the same app. I clicked on roast. Let's see what AI answered. It
Very long.
was
It's
so
very long.
big a thing. All right, let's break this down. This photo screams. I picked in gym class sometimes around 1982. That bicep impressive. If you are cooked chicken wing, the rest of you looks like you have been surviving solely on free breadsticks at Olive Garden, and so on and on and on. Not impressive.
Still
The manual was much more impressive. It's not so. So I told AI, the same app, shorten it. And this was the shortened answer. When you want a gym body in cheap and tight budget. But still, I believe my student's answer was better. So I, again is better than AI.
Very nice.
Okay, the next
Very
question.
nice.
Next question for you. I'm going to show my app and then I'm going to give you an access of it so that you can use it and maybe help you teaching yourself. I'm delighted to know this, but this comes with a lot of concern. Proper thought and discussion needs to be done for implementation. This is something I have written, and the question that I posed in front of them: what emojis will you use to describe this? Now, this is a sort of emoji that has been given by the AI. You see, I'm delighted to know this. First emoji is delighted to know this, but comes with a lot of concern, so a bit of concern there. Thought and discussion comes with the brain symbol, and the discussion is that ... that is writing down the discussion, and then implementation is the tick mark followed by I am implementing with a screw. But this is not English teaching. The English teaching is the reverse. So here it comes. Now I give them, they love emoji. The Gen Z just loves emoji. They just want to just put emojis in the chat box and that's it. I have given this emojis and said, express this in a passage. Definitely there can be innumerable options. I just gave them the emojis and said, write an English sentence for it, or an English paragraph for this. Software a little bit, they wrote it themselves, then took a little bit of help from the AI software, and see, this is what they came out. The emojis are all written side by side, so you can read out. Once upon a time, that emoji, see, a cheerful friend decided to host, excited, especially the buddy who brought the fanciest snacks. Then the money-loving friend suggested a game involving cash prizes but there was some skepticism about what might happen. So you can understand that what it writes is not the point. The point is, we can give such emojis to our students and tell them, write a paragraph for this. Maybe the Gen Z is not happy to write an essay. When I tell them, write an essay on this, they're not that happy. But they are very happy with emojis. Give them a set of emojis and tell that you write a paragraph describing this emoji. Can we do that? And that is what our AI app does. Next question. A conversation. We are converting. I installed this app in 2 of my students' mobile phones. And I said, you will only discuss with emojis, and every time he writes an emoji, you describe it, then he answers with an emoji, he describes it. That will be the guess, and the discussion continues. And this is a real-time discussion I'm showing you that happened in the app between 2 of my friends. I'm showing the real-time discussion with you. You see. So this was the first emoji which came. So the other student replied, hey there, how it's going? That was his guess. The next emoji was like this. He answered, dude, I'm just trying to solve the mystery of missing pizza. I told them that you need to make it interesting. You just cannot write anything. You need to make it interesting. So he said, this emoji will go for, dude, I'm trying to solve the mystery of missing pizza. The other person answered this. So again, it was the duty of the second person to guess. The second person guessed this. Did someone say pizza? I will trade my ideas for a slice. I started this in a group. Now I started this in a group and said, whoever answers first gets a prize from me. So this was the answer from a third person. Then another person gave this. Other person guessed this. But what if it's a pizza disaster? We could end up with pineapple. Because it's a sad sign. It's a sad emoji. So that was the guess from the group. Again the group, somebody in the group answered this. I really don't know what it means, but they know, the Gen Z knows. And somebody again answered, oh, come down, any pizza is good pizza. And so on it continued, the discussion. And believe me, they were not willing to stop. I had to stop the class.
Nice.
I said, okay, now it's time. I need to go out. Somebody will come in. I need to stop this. And they were just going on and on and on with this. Because I was just using WhatsApp. And I was never saying, oh, shut down. You don't stop. Please don't talk. You don't talk. Why are you misbehaving? Why are you talking? I didn't need to do that. Because whenever somebody was trying to disturb this, there was always a student who came up and said, hey, please shut down. We are doing this. Anyways, so yeah, this is the app, Pocket Unlimited. You can use it. You can go for a monthly subscription. You can go for an yearly subscription. I will share this PPT with all of you. No problems with that. I'll share this PPT. You can check this and do this. I continue a little bit. You can call this cider.ai. You get few of these options. Though in my app, I have included everything together. But if you just, I'm giving you the free option also. Absolute free option. You can just subscribe to cider.ai and go get all these options and teach your students with the help of that. Okay, now the question. Next question. Another app. Next question. An app, an option of an app which you get, which all of you almost have. The question is like this, dude, let's catch up for a cup of tea. These new budget policies are just pissing me off. Let's get some ideas about it. And the question goes like this, try to make the sentence more informal. Deliberately, it was already an informal sentence that I gave. It was an informal sentence, but I said, you need to make it more informal. So, you see what my students answered and then checked with AI. I don't remember I took the AI option or the I option, but this was the made informal combination I got. Bro, let's catch up for some chai. Dr. David, you know chai? You know chai? Oh, wonderful. Chai is tea. So bro, let's catch up for some chai. These new budget policies are seriously pissing me off. We need to rant about it and of course squeeze in some good gossip while we are at it. So some informal answer to a formal question. Again, this is what the app does. My AI app does. I will give you the link and everything. You can use it for free, absolutely. Now, I told them, make it more formal. I told the app this was the thing, make it more formal. Let's see what the answer, the same sentence. I would like to propose a meeting to discuss the recent budget policies, as I have some concerns and would appreciate the opportunity to share ideas on the matter. Would you be available for a cup of tea to explore this further? You understand? This is how the teaching continued. One more for you. I will expect some answers this time. This is getting a little boring, so I promise that I'm going to close it very soon. I'm sure that I'm in time. What time do I have? Okay, I have some time. About 10 minutes more. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so generally I need to always be called for closing me down. Okay, but I will try to keep it in time. Okay. So hello everyone in this group. I'm Rakesh from CSE second year. Today we are Ravi's birthday. Ravi is our classmate. He's always helping every one of us in our studies. So this was the thing. And I asked the app, shorten this sentence. Some answers from you, please. Shorten this sentence. So many things. Shorten this entire thing. It's not a sentence, no. Wrongly written. Shorten this group of sentences. Some answers from this side, from your side. How to shorten this? Anybody with maybe 2 lines or 3 lines to describe this? Okay. No, you have to keep the entire meaning intact. So this was the answer which the AI app gave with the help of my students, with the help of AI. Hi everyone, I'm Rakesh from CSE second year. Today is Ravi's birthday and he's always been a great help to us. Let's meet at 2 p.m. in the library to plan a surprise celebration for him tonight. You can see it was quite big. It shortened it down. Okay? And this one was make it sound more confident. Dear friends, we have the final match of our cricket tournament coming up today. We have been practicing day in and day out for the last 6 months for this day. Hope the day goes well for us and we can win this. Losing it from here will really shatter me and I'm sure it is the same for all of you. Can we put everything into the match today? And I said, make it sound more confident. You can sound there is a lack of confidence when I'm saying this. How can you make it sound more confident? And then again, it was a fight between the students, my students on actuals and the AI app that they themselves developed. And believe me, again my students came up with a better answer than the AI. And this was their answer. You see, it's the same thing. Dear friends, today is the day we have been preparing for the final match of our cricket tournament. After 6 months of dedicated practice, we are ready to show what we are capable of. I believe in our team's talent and determination. Let's seize this opportunity and play our hearts out. Letting this go will significantly impact me and I know will have the same effect on all of you. We are in this together and I'm confident we can bring home the victory. Let's give it everything we have got. So this was a much sounded confident sentence. So we can give this as exercise to our students and get it solved from them. Interesting. Okay, you can get the last options in Grammarly. You can use it. You can just purchase a little better version of Grammarly and get this confident thing and all thing. I'm sure all of you are using Grammarly. I'm sure you're doing that. You can just purchase a little better version and go for all this and practice in your classes. This is the premium and business pack for Grammarly. I've just put it down because I'm going to share the PPT with you. You can see from here. And this is Quillbot. How many of you are using Quillbot?
Here.
Oh, great, sir. Great. So 6 or still, including you, 7 or 8. Small pop-up in my computer, which quickly shows that the sentence is AI or not AI. I have deliberately kept it just to ensure that how much serious it is. Because if it is absolutely AI, then I believe my mind somehow tells me that it is not that serious. So it is very, very important to use it, but use it selectively and use your brain on it. So here you see on the right side, every sentence is being checked and also it is corrected. And see, if it is AI, it is detecting 100% AI generated. You see, Grammarly itself is detecting, the higher version is detecting that it is 100% AI generated. You can modify it. You can now rephrase it yourself and then again check to get a better version. So all these options are there. I will not go through all these options, but you can see this is interesting. The translation is also there. It is much better than the... Anybody who was present in my last year's talk? Anybody in this room who was present in my last year's talk? Okay, there I showed you a metaverse version where I had shown that using a headset like this, Oculus headset like this, two teachers or one teacher or innumerable number of students can sit in a classroom. What I discussed, what I showed a video was like this, that we are over here. Suppose for some reason or the other, we cannot meet like this. Say it was the COVID time, we cannot meet like this. But I'm going to teach again. Online option I can use, but the problem with online option is it gets boring. Remember the COVID days, it was boring. Now, the modern version which is coming up is, you will be wearing an Oculus headset. The teacher will be wearing an Oculus headset like this. All the students in their respective residences will be wearing an Oculus headset like this. Once they wear the Oculus headset, everyone will feel that they are sitting in this classroom. Very interesting. They will sit in this classroom and the feeling will be like this, that Patil sir wearing this Oculus headset, sitting in his own residence, looking to his left will be seeing Lakshman sir, and Lakshman sir sitting in his residence, own residence, looking to his right will be able to see Patil sir. That naturality is there in metaverse. It is coming up in 2 years of time, you will get it. You will absolutely get it. And you, as a teacher, you are in your residence, wearing the Oculus headset, looking like this, you're getting Patil sir and Lakshman sir. And looking like this, I get all of you. Whereas I am delivering the lecture from my residence. And you are listening to the lecture from your residence. That is metaverse. So our students have developed this metaverse counterpart. I don't know whether this will work or not. Yeah. So you can see this. I will just stop this for a while. Not very visible, I understand. You see in this, you cannot hear the sound. I can hear it because there is no speaker sound over here. Sorry for that. But you see here the teacher, I just want to describe. Here the teacher is teaching. Do you see the teacher? Here is the teacher. Please see my pointer. Can you see the pointer? Yes. The teacher is teaching. I have deliberately kept it as a PIP screen. The teacher is wearing this Oculus headset and teaching. See what the teacher is seeing. The teacher is seeing the classroom with the students. Whatever he is seeing, the students are answering. You see, they are doing an exercise in Grammarly. You see, he has shared a Grammarly screen with the students. The students over here are, the students over here are answering. See what the student is seeing. He is a student. See my pointer. He is a student. He is seeing the teacher delivering the lecture. He is the student seeing the teacher delivering the lecture. Student seeing the teacher delivering the lecture. And they are sharing a screen and continuously solving the Grammarly answers and exercises. So yes, I am taking the help of AI. I am taking the help of VR. But the teacher is not moved out. The teacher is very much there. So it is not AI without I. The I is very much there.
Nice. No I.
These are the
no
list of
AI
apps which you can use. I'm sure most of you know this. This is my last slide. Last to last slide. This is the list of AI apps which you can very easily use. All these have got free counterparts. Yes, you can click this very easily. And you can use these very easily. Very easy to use. I'll give an example. Memrise. Memrise is wonderful. Memrise, you can give it a video and it generates the text. And also the reverse. You can give a text, it creates a video out of it. So you can easily use it and you can give it to the students for solving the answers. And you can compare it with AI. You get it done by the students and then you compare with how AI does it and so on. These are some virtual reality based apps. The one that I showed, that is still not in Play Store because we are still working on it. Maybe.
Kiran Patil from India. I don't have a question as such,
Right.
but I'd like to add the words of Charlie Chaplin that he uses in the movie The Great Dictator. Now, what does Charlie Chaplin say in the movie The Great Dictator? He says, more than machinery, we need humanity. More than cleverness, we need kindness. I think we need to keep these words at the back of our mind when we talk about or discuss things about or related to AI and other tools. What do you have to say about this?
So, AI, as I told you, these are only some facilitating tools. You can understand, none of these works without a human being. It is you who will be generating the exercise. It is you who will be collaborating between the students. If the learning is not a collaborative learning, then it is not proper, at least by the modern standards. So it is the teacher who gets the collaboration between the students. It is the teacher who decides the exercises. It is the teacher who is checking the exercises from the students, interacting with them, understanding that which student is good, which student. After all, over here, what does the student get? Student gets that whether he is correct or wrong. Now, how to correct him? How to teach him so that he can make himself better? Where exactly he is making the mistakes? Who will decide it? It is the teacher who will decide it. So it is never going to work that way. Never ever it can work that way, that a robot is teaching. So AI has been interpreted, was initially, now things are getting better, but initially it was interpreted wrongly. It was interpreted in a way that it is going to take the place of a human being. But it is not so. It is just in the hands of human being to make it better. Thank you so much. Now I'm sure that I'm running out of time.
I actually work and live in Japan, but I'm from Canada. Yay, Canada. But I want to say thank you very much for your discussion today. It links very close to my own pedagogy and my own experiences. And I really appreciate the merging of the technologies. Now, my personal research is AI and ESL acquisitions, oral and written communication. But one key element was to get free apps,
Right.
free technology that was user-friendly. And you had mentioned about VR, and I just loved when you're integrating and merging the technologies together. It was a wonderful idea. And you mentioned that you had many VR applications. Now, you can only access it using Oculus, or can you use different Google Lens and et cetera, et cetera? I know it's not a huge question, but I think it's an important question.
Yes.
I think free or easy access is important.
So it's your question, technology researchers over here, they are facing the same problem. The problem is that we were getting a lot dependent on VR. Like if you remember, Facebook renamed them Meta, and if you remember, they brought in the concept of avatars. Remember, all of us created avatars?
Yes.
With what idea did we create avatars? You know, the idea was, what Facebook's idea was that when we wear this Oculus headset, the people that I'm going to see in front of my eyes as a teacher, they will not be the actual faces. They will be the avatar counterparts. And believe me, I'm going to dive deeper a little bit into the future that they thought of. They even thought of that the avatars are going to stay even after the person goes. The avatars are going to learn that person's feature, and when that person is no more there, still you can interact with that avatar in the metaverse world, in that virtual reality world. I'm going to see you people in front of my eyes, sitting at my home, and you people sitting at your home. I interact with you. They decided all this. With all this idea, they jumped into the avatars. That I'm going to see the avatars, you are going to see my avatar talking from my home, but you're seeing me in front of your eyes. But it did not work. It did not work for a simple reason that the headset, Oculus headset, was not comfortable. The Oculus headset, very simple. We did so much of technology, but we missed this out that it was not comfortable. And nobody wanted to wear it for long. Nobody wanted to be in the metaverse world for long. As a result, Facebook had to delay. You are still seeing that Facebook has not brought in. They are not telling you buy the Oculus headset and you will see Facebook, your friends right in front of your eyes. You interact, their posts will come one by one. You just talk and that post will automatically be commented. Everything they planned. But they went slow because people denied to wear that Oculus headset. Two things are coming up over here. One is, as you said, this is my phone. instead of wearing the Oculus headset, I can just keep my phone like this in front of my eyes. I still see the avatars, all of you over there, sitting in your own rooms, but I see your avatars in front of my eyes. I see the class like that. Instead of wearing that thing, just the phone in front of my eyes. And every student keeps the phone in front of them like this. They are seeing the teacher teaching, the avatar version, and the classroom, same thing. If they have to see their students, see his friend sitting by his side, which he's actually not, he will have to move his phone like this. He still sees his friend. He still sees his other friend. And the other friend, holding the phone like this, sees me. So understand? So a little tweak was done, and this was what has been planned. The future is going where? This is where the future is going. I will be wearing this same spectacle that I am wearing. There will be a touch over here, I will touch over here, and the mobile phone will come in front of my eyes. I don't have a device. I will not have this device. This will come in front of my eyes, and this is how I can do it. Do you understand? The device in actual will not be there. So that is where we are heading to. We are trying. I am very much a part of this team, thanks to many other professors. I'm thankful for this. But yes, the days are not far away. Thank you for your question. It really gives me a little bit of chance to dive a little deeper into the future. I will take 1 more minute to promote a conference. Sorry for this. Otherwise, LTI president will kill me. So, we are having a conference in...
I'm not an AI expert.
Hello.
I'm not an engineer. I'm a teacher just like you, but I've been playing around with the tools, doing a lot of training, and just discovering what AI can do in language learning with my students. So I think it's important to hold both the potential of these tools and also the complexities, some of the challenges and even some of the dangers of Gen AI with our students, and I'll be talking about that. So in my experience, our students want to know how to use these tools ethically. They're not getting a lot of guidance. So at this point, it's really our job to learn how to use these tools properly. So the reason I do a silent reflection, I find that it slows down the conversation and it gives the quieter students a chance to sort of share their ideas. If I ask the question directly to my students, it's always the loudest students and sometimes the least thoughtful who have something to say. But if I give the students just 1 minute, it can really help them kind of think about their responses. So something you might try. Put in a question, it's called a prompt, and it creates images, text, video, and it creates the answers by learning patterns. And if you're following the technology news, OpenAI just today released OpenAI 4.5. So every week these tools are getting stronger. And the generative AI tools, it's not like Google, it's not just a web search. It's trained on large language models, and it's pulling this information and then creating new patterns. So these are some of the tools that are generative AI. I've been playing a lot myself with ChatGPT. I think if you're starting off, that's a really easy tool to use. A lot of people like Claude better. There's also Notebook LM and DeepSeek, which have come out in the last month or two. So I'm just curious, we won't do a full minute, just think to yourself, have you used any of these AI tools? And are there any of these tools you'd like to master? Just maybe make a note for yourself. You could even write it down. We'll come back to these questions later. So let's start with both the risks and the opportunities of these tools, Gen AI and education. And I can see from the turnout in this room that this is something you're interested in. I think this is something that is impacting all educators wherever we are in the world. We're still figuring it out. And I do believe that conferences like this are an opportunity for us to figure it out together. So as we're creatively responding, many educators are just being silent. They're not speaking to their students about AI tools. Maybe that's you. Many of them are banning GPTs, right? You cannot use AI in my classroom. Maybe that's you too. Some teachers, including my own colleagues, are saying no more online, no more digital. You have to do all of your work on paper in front of me so I can watch you as you're working. Maybe that's you. But I think that as educators, we have the moral imperative to show our students how to responsibly interact with the tech. They need this guidance from us, and this is our job as educators. It's going to be part of their life. It might not be part of our life, but our students are going to have to use these tools. So this quote comes from my friend and colleague in California, Brent Warner. So this is another colleague, Lance Eaton, and he says, this is what we can do. We can examine these tools, what they do, and what intersects with our discipline, in our case, English language learning, and how it might be disrupting what we're doing in problematic ways. We need to look at some of the inequalities built into these tools. Bias, digital redlining, do you know that term? So students who go to private, wealthy schools have access to the tools. Students like mine at public colleges don't have as much access. So that's creating an inequality. And then a lot of these tools are in English, right? So this is a new form of colonialism. So we need to really look at the flaws of the tools. We can do better than the technology. I would say motivating our students. Right? Yesterday in the keynote, I talked about the human aspect, the community of care. That's our human response. Clarifying, really having in-depth conversations with our students. Making the learning relevant. Those are choices that we make. I think at the heart of what we do is building relationships with our students and also with colleagues. I feel like I'm already starting to build relationships with many of you here at this conference. Our colleges, our universities, our schools, they're human social networks. So the resources that we provide as human beings are not available anywhere. Our own life experience, our own perspective, our years of teaching and learning. This is something that students can find on our campuses, online, but we bring something unique. So AI is great, but there are some risks. One is privacy. So I think this is really important. Training our students in a very transparent way when we're using AI tools, just like any social media, any online platform, you're not putting in your birthday, your version of a social security number, your address, things like that. So really being wise about the information that you share. Especially, I know some of you work with students under the age of 18, or you have children of your own. So this is something to be very clear about and really provide guidance. Bias and fairness. So these tools are trained on existing data, which has a built-in bias. So really analyzing what are the responses you get and thinking, is this relevant to my use? Another risk is if we're doing everything with these tools, we're losing human interaction, right? So how can we humanize our use of the technology? Okay, so the privacy, to develop this idea a little more, this collection of student data, it raises concerns. So we want to be very careful about what we share. To say more about bias, these systems inherit the biases from the training data, from the large language models. And these could disadvantage certain students. And then just this, I think, concern that we all have of this law.
Now lunch break.